Hello and welcome, Desert Mountain members, to another edition of the Desert Mountain Podcast. My name is Michael Craven, and I've got Kim Atkinson back in the saddle this week. Hello, Kim.
Hello, Michael.
Welcome back, and I could not have done this one without you because we're talking about drinks this week.
All kinds of drinks.
Alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, smoothies even.
Healthy drinks.
Every drink you can imagine, and what better time of year because it's a little warm outside. And what better guest to have with us today than the two gentlemen sitting next to me. We have the assistant clubhouse manager from CG, Miles Brudigan. Hello, Miles.
Hi, how are we doing?
Doing great. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And also the assistant clubhouse manager from here at 7, where we are filming today, Doug Pocius. Hello, Doug.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you both for being on the show. And, let's just jump right into it. I think this is a favorite topic for a lot of people this time of year.
It really is. And it's something that, we just haven't put a big spotlight on what to drink at Desert Mountain. Lots of food content out there, plenty of golf. I think we just wrapped 3 or 4 weeks straight of different golf-related topics. So this week we just kind of wanted to lighten things up a little bit and have a delicious conversation about everything there is to drink at Desert Mountain.
I love it. Before we get into that, should we just get a little bit of their background? Because
Yes.
I think our members are very familiar. They see your faces. Let's just dive a little deeper into who you are. Miles, you want to start? How did you get to Desert Mountain? What is your background? Who is Miles Brudigan?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started here at Desert Mountain about 3 years ago. I came on originally as an intern through the internship program with Stan Busher and Passion Graham. After the internship program got done, I ended up gravitating towards CG and kind of the catering and banquets operation. And I served there for a couple months, then became their clubhouse supervisor. About a year after that, then I was promoted to assistant clubhouse manager. Never looked back ever since. Desert Mountain's been a great opportunity for me. I've been able to provide a lot of opportunities for our team members and great experiences for our members. So loved every bit of what Desert Mountain's brought for me.
That's awesome. Very well said.
Moving through the ranks. Where are you from originally?
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
welcome. Doug, how about you?
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me. Of
course.
This is obviously very fun topic to discuss. My background was mostly hotels, very large resorts here in Phoenix and Scottsdale, several years in Hawaii with Hyatt and Four Seasons, and kind of when everything shut down, Hawaii shut down pretty hard, so I had to come back to the real world and had a great landing here with Hillstone Restaurant Group, and then shortly thereafter here at Desert Mountain. So I'm coming up on 1 year here in the next couple of weeks, and I couldn't be happier.
That is fantastic. What a journey. We're happy to have you.
Well, it's about the same weather as here in Hawaii. Here is in Hawaii, right?
Yeah, a little different. Just no beach,
Sure.
So I actually just came up with this question thinking about my own experiences and my husband and I going out into Scottsdale and going into a bar area. And the bartender, the person who's behind the bar, really has a lot of power. And why I say that is they could just emit so much joy and lightness and happiness, or not so much. Mm-hmm. So when you approach your day and work with your teams who are behind the bar, how do you kind of work with them to help set the tone of we're in the happiness business for our members? Doug, you want to take a crack at that?
Sure. I'm a very optimistic, very positive person. I very much focus on the law of attraction. If you put good things out there, good things will come back. We obviously always like to hire people that are very positive. I think that takes precedent over skills, because we can certainly teach anybody how to do their job, but you can't teach somebody to be a positive person. So it's always fun to be hands-on, shoulder to shoulder with your teammates, getting through busy rushes together, and it just kind of builds that camaraderie. And
Yeah.
we have a lot of fun while doing it, making great cocktails and making people happy, and seeing the same people very frequently.
Right.
It's fun to build those relationships.
Different from the hotel business for sure. Miles?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think one of the biggest things is kind of, as Doug said, kind of being in the trenches with your team in the sense of, huge dinner services or big events or whatever the case may be. It's really great to build that staff, leadership member kind of rapport with your team, to be able to have them see, a couple different sides of you, the administrative, the person that kind of guides them every day, but also the person that is willing to kind of get in the mix with them to provide that member experience as a whole.
Did you hear what he did there? Get in the mix.
Get in the mix.
Oh, my goodness.
Father's Day was last week. The dad jokes, we got to move on. We got to talk about the drinks, right?
We do need to get to those, yes.
What, Miles, do you know kind of off the top of your head, what are some of the more popular drinks up at CG? And I'm excited to ask Doug what some of the more popular ones are down here.
How are they different?
How are they different? Yeah. What do people drink up at CG more?
So CG tends to be kind of a more bourbon-focused outlet, whether it's bourbon or rye. We kind of do a few different cocktails. So we started our cocktail list in the men's grill. We did 3 in the men's grill side and then 3 on kind of our main dining room mixed grill area. The barrel-aged old-fashioned, we age that in an oak barrel for anywhere from 60 to 90 days with a grade A maple syrup and then orange bitters. Wow. So it kind of lets it develop the flavor, a little bit of heat behind it, but the orange bitters kind of pulls it back.
You age it you guys do that? Correct,
yes. We age it in the barrels.
That's really unique.
If you ever stop by CG, we've got 2 of them that sit kind of in our men's grill, men's locker room area. One is housing our barrel-aged old-fashioned, and the other is kind of a test barrel with a barrel-aged Manhattan in it as well. But yeah, big bourbon focus. We also have a huge tequila crowd where our Paloma came in on the main dining room mixed grill side. That is kind of an Italian spin on it. We use Aperol, honey, and lime juice as well in there with the tahini rim. Super, super refreshing. The ladies absolutely love it.
That is awesome. And before we were recording, we were asking a little bit about how the menus, when it's time to roll out a new menu, and maybe there's some items that stand out. Now you're behind the bar and you look at that menu. What are some ways that inspire you to come up with some different cocktails that maybe you're offering this summer at 7?
Yeah, and just like the seasonality of some food items, Brussels sprouts, artichokes, various different squashes that chef will curate into several different food dishes. We do the same with cocktails. We've brought in a lot of watermelon, a lot of cantaloupe, of honeydew, prickly pear, very, very high-end prickly pear syrups, just things that go along with summer season. Things that maybe right now isn't the best time to have an old fashioned when it's 110 degrees out
Yep.
at 7. But there's a time and place for every drink, and members they're going to order what they order. They're going to order what is good to them. But at the same time, we certainly want to have that creative opportunities for them to step outside of their comfort zone and try out this Mai Tai with house-made pineapple foam or key lime pie martini. So we have a pretty eclectic mix of items on the 7 menu, as it's the gastropub. Kind of goes along with the eclectic food menu. So fun stuff.
What is the process like when you're going through seasonally and trying to come up with these new cocktails? Are you just sitting down and kind of in a group and going, all right, what do we all want? What are our members asking for?
It's at least for me, it's a couple month process. So we rolled out our cocktail menu about a month ago here at 7, and we're already looking at the next menu change.
I think Michael was looking for an invitation. It's kind of where that's kind of what I was picking up out of that question. I could be wrong.
How do I get involved, Doug?
We're more than happy to whip up some cocktails, but it's it's pen on paper. It's getting the menu in front of you, looking at our matrix of things that have done well, things that haven't, and then looking at what's going to be available for the summer. Especially right now with some supply chain issues, it's a little more difficult to get all the products that you want. So how do we navigate that to where we can get what we want? But a lot of it is also just beta testing, R&D. We'll run specials for weeks, cocktails of the day, just like Chef does, lunch features, and we'll work out all the kinks over a couple weeks of doing that, and then we'll have a nice finished product to roll out. So a lot of it as well is the bartender team in getting those ideas and then kind of guiding them in the right direction of where we think, what the membership wants, at certain price points and availability. And yeah, it's a massive team effort, every single menu rollout.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm sure you even probably have some cocktails that become pop. Have you ever had a cocktail that you were going to do seasonally and it became very popular and maybe people wanted to keep ordering it when it wasn't on the menu, or maybe you added it to the menu? Has that ever happened?
Certainly. I think there's 3 core alcoholic beverages on our menu: our Paloma, our Sparkling 7, and something else. I can't remember off the top of my head, but things that we just don't want to get rid of because they're just good. And they're good year-round, and they're fresh grapefruit, fresh lime juice, fresh orange juice, fresh lemon juice, fresh watermelon juice every day.
Wow.
And once you go that fresh juicing route, like you don't go back.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
So, Miles, fun fact for you and everybody. I actually tended bar for a little while when I was in college at a place in Tempe. So I went to Arizona State University. And so big background on some of the things that occur at ASU, being one of the, higher party schools in the country. However, I was responsible. I had a job behind the bar. And occasionally I would have somebody come in and order something. I had no idea what to make. So suddenly the Bud Light became the special when that would occur. Do you ever get stumped on a cocktail? Have you ever had somebody come in and they ask for some crazy beverage that just, how do we put that together? And then...
Yeah,
Okay.
every once in a while we'll get that. It's kind of a fun challenge. Our clubhouse manager at CG, Joe Mackey, is super good at kind of handling those with me. Every once in a while during a dinner service or an event, someone will throw something to us and we kind of just have to, give it our best effort. Or luckily enough for us, we've got good knowledge between the two of us that we can actually execute it. Last week, I believe it was for Burger Bash, we had one of our tables that asked for a French 95, which, for those who know, French 75, gin, lemon juice, a little simple with Prosecco. Kind of a floral, pretty light cocktail. And at first I thought that the person that requested it mispronounced.
Wanted it bigger?
No, that's kind of what I was thinking. I thought, French 75, I was thinking gin. Actually, a French 95 happens to be made with bourbon. So it's kind of a little bit of a different cocktail. Wasn't something that I would anticipate somebody ordering or putting together myself, but it actually ended up working out pretty well, and the table ended up loving it.
What a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Nowadays it almost makes it a little too easy, because if there was a random thing that you just didn't know what it was, could just pull out the old Google and,
Yep, absolutely.
That happens too.
Yes.
And that wasn't always available,
No,
but
not in the 90s of Arizona State University. No.
You did have your Mr. Boston's bar book, though.
This is true.
Yep,
This
everybody
is
had
true.
that behind the bar. I actually just removed ours from CG when I first started,
funny.
just to get the knowledge a little bit better. But
Good for you.
Yeah, we were doing some content stuff yesterday with Miles, and your way around behind there. Did you did you have experience bartending before you got to Desert Mountain?
yeah, absolutely. So I've kind of had a little bit of as I describe it, a Swiss Army knife kind of experience in the club industry. Started kind of in the golf background, was looking to kind of go the professional route. Decided that food and beverage was kind of a better opportunity for me to kind of grow in the industry. So then I focused a lot on men's, girls, and serving, whether it was fast casual, beach clubs, fine dining. Kind of gave a crack at really all of it. And that was kind of where my understanding for bar programs and more developed bar programs came from. And that's one of those things that takes time to learn, but after you do learn it, you kind of get a little bit of a fever for yourself on it that you just always want to keep learning and educating yourself. And honestly, Seven's a perfect example with their bar program. It's a little bit different than ours in the sense that we kind of use a variety of tools that we have on hand to kind of create that member cocktail or member experience, whereas Seven utilizes a lot of fresh ingredients, a lot of menu forward focus, and a lot of collaboration like that. For us, it's kind of the same thing as Doug said, a little bit of a trial and error standpoint. But honestly, for us, especially with our summer cocktail list, it's worked out to our benefit.
So I'm so glad you said that, because Kelsey and I were talking a little bit about this too, that, the buzzword of mixology and having a mixology department or a mixologist, all of those things, it's out there and it's a buzzword, but Here, in terms of having that teamwork and the collaboration, you have more flexibility to be able to specialize and do something different at your clubhouse versus others.
Yeah, absolutely. And this bar behind us is massive. We have a lot of tools at our disposal, and even during downtime as well. We'll R&D some stuff, and it's we have everything at our disposal, and it's we can get creative.
That's so good. That's so good.
What about, I've always noticed there'll be maybe kids or people who are under 21 that come in, especially maybe to 7 from time to time. Do you put any thought into, you talk about R&D, doing like a mocktail or doing a drink that's non-alcoholic? One of the things you mentioned was, having all those fresh juices.
Yeah.
If I was a parent that normally went to a restaurant where you go to a normal bar, you're not getting fresh juice. You're getting, something out of a can that
concentrate.
Yeah. So do you put any thought into that for the non-alcoholic crowd?
Absolutely. And we have, several mocktails on our list, but at the same time, we have the tools to really create anything. We have some of the best purees you can get in the country from Perfect Puree out of Napa Valley. We have, I think 6 or 8 different flavors of that, from blueberry to strawberry, lychee, caramelized pineapple, prickly pear. There's several more. Mix that in with some mint or basil or lemonade or some cucumber and tonic, and the world's our oyster.
Very healthy.
Very healthy, and nice to know that. Well, we've talked before about some of the ways that the food gets distributed here to Desert Mountain and how high end, a lot of the different meats and vegetables and things like that are, and it seems like it really carries over to the drink aspect of it. Absolutely.
You can't be really good at one thing and not at the other. They have to complement each other. I think our teamwork between front of the house and back of the house is very, very strong. I think in any clubhouse throughout the mountain, and so we lean on each other a lot, and we push each other and inspire each other to continue to make great products.
All right, our members who have been around the different clubhouses, they've seen these large contraptions.
What are they?
What are these?
I don't know. There's like a dripping thing that's happening.
They're dripping. They're as tall as I am. What's going on? What are these? Can you explain this, please? Either of you or both of you?
Yeah, there are infusion towers. So they're technically cold brew coffee towers, to where you would put in your filtered distilled water up top, your coffee beans in the middle, and then over the course of 10, 12 hours, that would produce a nice cold brew coffee. But we use the same premise for any spirit that we want to infuse.
Wow.
And I think behind the bar right now we have several bottles of various different infusions, whether it be like a coffee bean Campari that is great in a Negroni or a Boulevardier, cucumber, lemon vodka. We have some bacon vodka as well. We have Hendrick's gin that we infuse through strawberries, oranges, mint, basil. We put that in with some fresh lemon juice, and you have a great summer cocktail. Wow. We have a lot of things back there that we've just kind of, trial and errored and R&D'd, and, members have tried plenty of things. I think the other day we made a Luxardo, cherry, maraschino cherry, and some oranges, and we filtered Kettle One vodka through that. So we have the base of like a Dirty Shirley, but just a lot better because
I'm hearing about these.
Yes.
Wow.
I started hearing about it a few weeks ago when we had some ordered. It's just really just a spiked Shirley Temple.
That is very cool.
Is that becoming popular here now? Are people getting wind of that?
Yeah, there's always trends. I think the past few months has been ranch waters. I think right now is also a lot of CBD stuff. I'm sure you see that at CG. But yeah, there's always trends, and they come and go. Some of them will stick. But yeah, we've seen some Dirty Shirleys, and
with the infuser, if I understand it, it kind of produces a limited amount of beverage over the course of a day. So, do you have it where the first so many folks who happen to see what's going on and want to take advantage of it, get the cocktail, and if you're late, you're too late? How does that work?
Yeah, it's just there is a finite amount. It's just like any lunch or dinner feature that we would have. We want to preserve and maintain that freshness and that kind of exclusiveness of it. So I think on Cinco de Mayo we had a blueberry infused mojito.
Wow.
Which sold out kind of like that, and we weren't expecting it to be that popular, but it was, and that just gives us more knowledge and intel on, okay, maybe we need to do this next time, or maybe it's something that we can further explore down the road for an additional menu item.
And the infusers, is that a common practice in the bar business, or did we kind of take this sort of cold brew coffee concept and move it ahead in our direction?
I wouldn't say it's that common.
Okay.
I mean, there's always been, jalapeno infused tequila, or jalapeno infused vodka to make spicy Bloody Marys or spicy margaritas. This just kind of it changes the game a little bit because it's an awesome visual. It's fun to do. It pushes our team to be creative and have to come up with something new for our membership. But I mean, I've been to plenty of bars in Phoenix and Scottsdale, and it's not something I see.
Don't see it too much.
On the regular. No, I don't.
I think the most I've seen is bars will have the jar of pineapples. Have you ever seen that up on the back of the bar?
Yep.
And they're infusing vodka, I guess it would be, or gin or whatever with pineapple, or I don't know what other kind of fruit. But I've never seen this. I've never walked into a bar and seen what we're doing here now.
And Miles, we have them in all of our clubhouses?
Correct, yeah. So all of our clubhouses have kind of the smaller units that I have. So mine does about a 1 liter bottle of liquor, whereas Doug's is about 3 times my size. So he's able to produce it in a more mass sense. For us, one of the things we've noticed is we really do focus on that limited offering aspect of it. With only 1 bottle of liquor and old fashions and Manhattans being a big push for us, we've realized that we can go through about 5 to 7 cocktails depending on how much we end up kind of infusing throughout the afternoon. And it's one of those things where we do, as we were talking about earlier, we put it at a little higher price point, but we also are using a little bit of higher quality ingredients. Angel's Envy Bourbon was one that we did at CG for our coffee old fashioned. So we dripped Angel's Envy over top of blonde roast coffee beans, orange peel, a little bit of cinnamon, and some cloves. So that was kind of the basis for our coffee old fashioned. And every clubhouse is a little bit different with how they use their units. Here at CG, I was kind of one of the first to get our unit, so it was kind of a few trial runs to see how things were going. Didn't really know kind of the basis to go off of. So what I did is I ended up picking one of our staff members every week and asking them what their favorite liquor was or what their favorite cocktail was, and kind of spinning it off of that. So we've done Alejandro's Coffee Old Fashioned, which was the coffee-based one we did. We did the Mackey's Old Fashioned, which is now essentially on our summer cocktail list as Abuela's Old Fashioned. It is a reposado mezcal, kind of old-fashioned in that sense. We use agave and a little bit of chocolate mole bitters, so it's got a lot of spice, a lot of background to it. But it's one of those things where it was nice for the membership because what we would do is we would infuse that cocktail throughout the day, create a little signage for them as they walked in because it's in our credenza when you walk into the dining room, and it was a nice way for members to stop as they were coming in for their dinner reservations, ask a few questions about it, and then we would essentially have that team member that the cocktail was focused towards kind of go through the effort to sell that through the evening. We also kind of did some staff incentive challenges for who could sell the most of said cocktail, and it got really great feedback, and hopefully in the future for us, looking to figure out some system to have our membership kind of be a part of that as well. Maybe something is where when a member fills out a feedback comment card for us, they get their name in a hat, and then we reach out to them, figure out what liquor is their preference and what kind of cocktail they'd like to see, and then have that featured at our clubhouse over the course of the week.
That's an awesome idea. I love it. So creative.
We were chatting yesterday just briefly, and I was kind of saying, if I'm a member and I walk in and I see that drip, and I'm going, well, this is a limited quantity, limited supply. I want one of those. I want it before it's gone.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of a cool thing. So my message to the membership would be, if you have your drink that you have every day, that's fine, but go off the path and give some of these a try because these sound amazing.
I mean, craft cocktails have gone next level at Desert Mountain. This is an extraordinary conversation. I'm inspired.
Me too. I want to try the bacon vodka. Maybe put that in a Bloody Mary.
Yep, there you go.
I've had a slice of bacon in the Bloody Mary, not a bacon vodka. So I'd like to try that.
Very, very interesting time with you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for walking us through this. Your descriptions are really very vivid, I have to say. I can see all of them.
I'm thirsty.
Yes.
Some of the cocktails we've been talking about may not be a bad option coming off the golf course. So speaking of the golf course,
Yes.
you want to kick it back and do some shots?
We need to do some of those
Shots around the mountain.
golf shots around the mountain.
We'll be right back.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Kim. We only have one shot to recognize this week, but boy, was it a doozy. Tony Albany stands alone on our shots around the mountain this week with his hole-in-one on number 17 Apache on Monday, June 20th. Thank you again for tuning in, members. We look forward to seeing more of your great shots next week.
All right. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. We got to get out of here. We got to go have a cocktail maybe
Somewhere
at 5.
after 5.
After 5.
After 5. Yes, absolutely.
Still got a little bit.
Yes,
After work. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, so much for joining us
Awesome.
this
Thank you
week.
for having
What
us.
Yes,
a
thank you
great
very much.
time.
Really appreciate it. And members, be sure to come on in and try out some of these amazing cocktails that we have going on at all of the clubhouses right now.
Thank you, members.
Thanks, members. We'll see you around the mountain.